What is literacy? For almost a year now, I have been teaching for an adult literacy program in Chelsea. This program was started more than 20 years ago and has recently began to focus in developing adults that are not only able to read and write in English and in Spanish, but are able to use the computers and iPads as well. The literacy skills that they need to become hireable or to move up in position or to simply be able to help their children do their homework at home. I remember when I was observing my first class how wrong I was about the group of learners I would soon be teaching. All of them could read and write in Spanish and knew the content very well, but when it came to taking tests, they were all lacking that skill. Something as simple as taking a test, filling in bubbles, and writing your name on the space provided was a very difficult task for them. I would not have normally considered that a literacy skill, but after taking this course, my definition of literacy has changed, and now I see that taking tests is one of the skills that our young students had to learn at a very early age that my older students were lacking. My point with this story is that as time changes, so does the definition of literacy. In order to keep up with technology, we have to learn something new. This means that literacy is no longer just reading and writing, but everything that we need to be able to do and know in order to be successful. I think we have reached a point where if you don't know how to turn on a computer and use it correctly, then you are pretty much illiterate. And pretty soon it will be the same case with iPads and tablets. Our students at a very young age know how to surf the internet, use Google, look up words that they don't know on the internet, look up a music video on YouTube, use Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and hashtag everything. Hashtag, yes, a phenomenon that started with Twitter and is now pretty much universal. This is why, as teachers, we have to get with it and learn how to use these tools so that we can teach our students the language they need to know in order to be considered literate in the 21st century. Think about every major crisis that we have had and what has come out of it. For example, after the real estate crash, the language changed, and all of a sudden everyone needed and wanted to be financially literate. Financial literacy. What is that? It's a skill that you learn in order to use your money wisely to prevent yourself from buying something you can't afford. It was a new language like interest, equity, variable, fixed, budget. This became so hot that students were taught this literacy skill at school to ensure an all-around healthy consumer in the future. So, what are the literacy skills that I want my students to leave 8th grade with? I want them to be able to use technology, to be able to use PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook to draft emails that they're going to need to be able to do when they have a job of their own. I want them to be able to connect with people that they normally wouldn't connect with and to adapt in situations that they find themselves in. I want them to problem solve, to question everything, not to take things for what they are, but to actually give it thought and to ask questions. I want them to not only know what the laws are and what their rights are, but to become active members in their communities, to start programs, to volunteer, to be part of something. I want them to think critically. I want them to know that there is not always one answer to a problem, that they need to actually take the time to look at the problem and come up with a solution. I want them to, most importantly, be able to appreciate culture. I want them to be able to communicate with people that don't look like them. I want them to be able to feel comfortable doing that. These are the skills that they're going to need to know for the 21st century, and these are the skills that I believe are the new definition of what literacy is.